Hello, welcome to this new interview, and today I'm talking to two guys that have made a game named Antegods, and well, they can probably introduce themselves.
Okay, let me start. My name is Peter. I'm one of the founders of Codeglue. Codeglue is a small indie developer in the Netherlands, and we're with 9 people at the moment. We're a bit older already. I mean, we've been around for 17 years now, and we've developed various games like Rocket Riot. We did a co-production with another studio called Up, and now we're working on Antegods, like you said.
And I'm Wytze Kamp. I'm the game designer at Codeglue. I started working here about a year and a half ago. Well, I do anything game design related at the company.
You started your studio 17 years ago. How was that to do that 17 years ago?
I think it's very different than nowadays. 17 years ago the games industry was in a very different state, I think. When I started this company, we tried to focus on games for mobile phones, but then you have to think about this is an era that when the iPhone was not there yet, or any other smartphone. So this was really the Nokia's, the first color screens, and we created small games for that. So different era. What also was very different is that you didn't have a lot of open channels where you could sell your games. So you were really dependent on publishers back then. If you wanted to go on a mobile phone or an Xbox or whatever, you had to find a publisher, pitch your game, try to sell it to them, and get on the platforms that way. Nowadays it's completely different. There are so many open platforms, like you can develop games for mobile phones. Anybody can do that. Steam is quite an open platform. There are other PC shops out there, so the landscape has changed a lot.
How many games have you really developed for like modern stuff in the current state of the studio?
Well, if you look at the most recent games we've done, one of them is Up. It was a co-production, so it's not our own idea, but we did all the technical stuff and even did some animations for that game. We did Rocket Riot. That's quite a recent game, although it started out in 2009, but we developed it for a lot of platforms the last couple of years. We helped a few other indie studios in the Netherlands recently. So, for instance, we created a Vita and a PlayStation 4 version of a game called I.O. We did that for a Game Yes. A couple of years ago, we helped another Dutch studio called Rage Quit with their action hand game. So we created all the 3D models of the characters in that game. And that's the most recent stuff we've done, I think.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
For what platforms are you developing Antegods?
We're going to release the game on Steam, so that's Windows, Mac, maybe Linux, if depending on how much work that is. And then if that's a success, then we'll consider other platforms as well.
How do you like each platform?
Well, so Steam is nice because it's a really open platform. Like, you have a lot of control over what you do there, and it's easy to reach your community on there. So that's a really nice place to start out, because you can really communicate with your players. And then PlayStation 4 is like really successful, so that's definitely an interesting one to release a game on. I mean, it's a great console as well. And then Xbox One after that, probably because it's the second biggest one. then the Switch depends mostly on like how well can we get the game to perform on the console because it's less powerful, and how sturdy are the online features basically.
What type of education have you guys done before you started doing this?
It's a while back. I did a bachelor, HBO, so I'm a bachelor in engineering. Actually, I did an electronics course, so it was a combination of electronics, designing your own electronics, and programming these electronics. So, yeah, it's quite hip again nowadays.
Yep. I studied game design and development actually at the Utrecht School of Arts, and I graduated I think 3 years ago now. Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, it's very much focused on games.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
How many people in total are working on Antegods?
So there's 3 core developers. So that's Niels, who's the lead programmer, Tom, who's the lead artist, and myself as the lead game designer. And then we have JP, who's the producer on the team. And of course we have Peter and Maurice, the owners of the studio, so they're also involved in the direction of the project. And then on the outside we work with a writer, Niels het Hoofd, and a composer / audio designer, Kleinode. We've also worked with an AI programmer, Matt Buckland, who's in the UK. And then we usually have one intern programmer and 2 intern artists, and the team varies over time, but it's always the core team that's working on the game.
Have you used an engine like Unreal or Unity?
Yeah, we use Unity. Yeah.
Okay, well that was a really short answer. Why did you choose Unity?
It's easy to make more tools within Unity, so it's got a really good interface, so that makes it a lot easier to make games with. Like if you're an artist or a designer, such as myself, then you have the whole you have a very visual way of developing the game, and that makes Unity really nice, as well as being able to somewhat easily port the game to other platforms. Yeah.
What has been the biggest challenge in producing Antegods until now?
It's a really big project. It's it's really the sheer size of it, I think. Making an online multiplayer game means you have to deal with a lot of situations, a lot of limitations as well that you have to work with or work around. And then we're a pretty small team, and it's the size of the project and then the small team that's working on it that's made it really challenging. Yeah.
How did you get the idea to make it?
Wow, that's a good one. Yeah, I think it's the game is sort of based on a previous game of ours, Rocket Riot, which is completely different because it's more of an arcade game, and it's got a very how do you call it? A colorful and playful look. But it had the same gimmick that the whole landscape can be destructed, can be destroyed. And Antegods is actually sort of a successor to Rocket Riot, but the gameplay has been changed quite a lot because we wanted to create a much more tactical game instead of a very repetitive arcade game. We wanted it to be very tactical, and we focus on the online multiplayer as well a lot this time. So yeah, the inspiration came from the previous game. How we came up with the Mayan team, I'm not sure anymore. Do you know, Wytze?
Yeah, I think like the first version of Antegods, Tom used a style that was a bit closer to Rocket Riot than it is now, so again more pixel based, and then he was really exploring the Mayan patterns basically, because like that art style really landed itself well for putting those patterns into the objects, and then that was actually something I really liked, like this combination of this sort of digital technological look with this Mayan aesthetic. And then when we continued working on the project, we wanted to pull the game more towards a more worked out, more fleshed out visual style, and that's when we just kept on trying to get closer to that Mayan aesthetic.
You made that Rocket Riot game before. What was it completely about?
What the game was about?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I said, it was an arcade game. At first, it didn't even have a story or anything. It was just flying pixelated characters with a bazooka fighting each other. So basically, you were presented with a level. Everything in that level, it's 2D by the way, you can destroy, and it will grow back on. And your missions were like kill 15 enemies, for instance. It starts easy and ramps up after that. Later on, we actually added a storyline in the game as well, but it was done after the whole game was completed, so all the levels were already there, and the storyline was just completely nonsense, completely super weird, and actually that was sort of the humor and the fun of the game.
And you made the Rocket Riot in the basics of it to Antegods.
Yeah, so we had this game Rocket Riot, and everybody loved that everything could be destroyed. That was a lot of fun to do. Everybody felt that the game controlled nicely and the shooting was fun. So that we kept as a basis for Antegods. We really wanted to grasp that fun part of Rocket Riot and transfer that to Antegods, but then have a much deeper gameplay compared to what Rocket Riot ever was.
Peter told me that Antegods was kind of your baby. How is that?
My baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I really like working on multiplayer games, and I've wanted to work on an online multiplayer game for a really long time. So when I started working at Codeglue, like there were all these ideas for Antegods, but it was missing like actual details on how the game actually plays. So I got to work with all these ideas and shape them into something like that we could actually build, something more, how do you call it, more specific. And as I was doing that, I worked on some prototypes, and then we got started on the actual game. And like it's been a lot of fun just designing this game and shaping it into something really fun to play and something with a lot of depth. Yeah, it's just that process of slowly iterating on the game and slowly making it into something, well, into what it should be. That just makes me care a lot about the projects. And then the team is also really good to work with. Like we have a lot of fun at the job. So yeah, it's just a really cool project to work on.
Did you get any help from the industry to develop or promote Antegods?
Peter?
Yeah, in what sense do you mean?
Yeah, can be help from people that do marketing, from other developers, just help from people within the industry.
Yeah, well, if you look at the Dutch industry, that's it's not a very big industry, of course, and yeah, we get a lot of favors and on social media from other Dutch developers, a lot of support. At the moment, for instance, we're running a crowdfunding campaign on Fig for this game Antegods, and we are working with a small Dutch PR agency that's helping us out right now. Yeah, in general, the game development community, whether it is on a Slack channel or on whatever Facebook groups, yeah, they are always very helpful, and it's always there's always a good sense of community within the game developer scene. So yeah, we know that there's a lot of support, I think.
There's also the Play Dev Club, which is organized by Adriaan de Jong, and it's basically like this get-together where game designers take their games, show their games, and that other designers play test it, and then you give a lot of like gameplay feedback to each other. That's actually also been really helpful in like knowing what the issues of the game are. So that's a really nice initiative.
So you're also testing games from other developers?
Yeah, when they have games to test, then we gladly help them. I mean, it's always fun to see what projects other developers are working on, because it is such a close community. So if you can help other people to test their game and see any flaws and help them to make it the best game they possibly can, and that's something we like to do as well.
You are doing a crowdfunding campaign. Why did you choose Fig over Kickstarter?
Yeah, there's basically those were the two options that we had, but we were approached by Fig, and yeah, they wanted to have Antegods on the platform. We were honored, of course, and yeah, why we chose Fig is that we think it's operating more in a niche. It's totally dedicated to indie games. Yeah, it has a good community and a good bunch of investors behind it that could fund our project. So we felt that would be the perfect way to go for us. We know that if you compare it to Kickstarter, which is a website that has lots more traffic, of course. If you get a feature on Kickstarter, for instance, then yeah, that would be very good as well. We understand that, but we really hope that the niche that it's so focused on games that actually would help us.
Did you notice the decline for making money for indie games within the industry?
Sorry, did you say decline?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just how the market is developing, right? So, like I said, there's a lot more opportunities for people to publish their games nowadays. It's there's a low threshold. You can easily develop an iPhone game, release it, and yeah, we're basically running an indie company. A couple of years back, when that situation sort of began to appear. A lot of smaller developers that were first actually were able to make good money. Nowadays, the market is much more crowded, and it's way more difficult now to actually get visible on any platform actually. And all of a sudden, all these small developers need to do marketing, and that's not a weird thing or something. It's just it's how every industry works, like where it's crowded. If it's crowded, you need visibility, and to get that visibility, you need to do marketing, and that's hard.
I know. What type of games do you play in your free time?
I personally play a lot of Heroes of the Storm, which is like a League of Legends type game from Blizzard. I like to play Super Smash Bros. I usually tend to play competitive games because I enjoy playing with other people, and then when there's like people around, and I enjoy social gaming.
Okay, and I like to play the occasional indie game. I'm more of a hoarder of indie games. I collect them in my Steam library. Occasionally I play Nuclear Throne from Blombeer. That's the kind of games I play. And on my mobile phone and my tablet, some more light games, I guess.
You play Pokemon Go still, right?
I'm still playing Pokemon Go, yeah. It's a game, yeah, it's a game.
So you have a really big Steam library.
Wow, yeah, it's getting there. And there's a lot of unplayed stuff in there as well. So I'm also like, if somebody has a cool game and I know the guy, then I support him. So I buy a lot of indie games.
So all your money goes to buying indie games to support your friends.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a business model there as well, right? So if every indie developer would do that, there's not a problem at all. Everybody would make money.
Well, then the indie game developers should start doing that.
Yeah.
Why indie games only?
Yeah.
And food and all those things, but all the money that's left on indie games.
Yes, exactly. See how far we get. Model.
I hope then that indie game developers don't have children.
And then there's no money left, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
How long did it take to create Antegods?
So the current version, we started working on it at the end of I think in October 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we've been working on it for a little over a year and a half, and we expect to still be working on it for at least a year. And then if it's a success, we hope to be working on it for many more years to come.
So you're expecting to work on the same game for years, or do you hope to work on this game for a straight period and then work on other games?
Well, if Antegods is a success, then which means that a lot of players keep playing it, then we want to keep updating the game with more characters, more features, just support the game so that's the best game it can possibly be, and then hopefully see players play competitions and stuff like that. So if everything goes well, then we'll be working on this game for years to come, and then maybe at some point we get more people in the company so that we can work on future projects as well. But we will still be busy with this project though.
Do you want to say anything else about Antegods?
support us on Fig. It would be great if we can get the word out there, and if people who like the game and see the potential back us, and in return we've got some pretty cool rewards up there. That's the main thing.
Okay, in that case, yeah, we are finished.
Thanks for the interview.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for the interview.
No problem.